Hi, sorry, something just popped up on the screen for me to read then. Good afternoon, Joe here back at WoolieCottage.com. Sorry, I've been away for a little while. I've had things to deal with, and I've been decorating my studio and having a good clean out and a good tidy up and everything else. So I hope you're all right. What am I doing today? Nothing much. I've just been dyeing up a load of rovings because we've got rain and God knows what else turning up for the rest of this week. So I thought I'll what's that stuck in there? I thought I'll get out my blending board and get some Rolags blended up whilst I'm here. I've been meaning to do some for a couple of weeks, and with the room being in an absolute state last week, there was no way I was going to get any done. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'll tilt you down. My nails are in such a state, honestly. My nails are absolutely done in. They're split in 3 different directions. So I'm going to do some blended Rolags. As I say, I haven't done any for a while. They're not my favourite thing to do anymore. I used to love doing them, and I must have done Rolags to death, to be fair. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I need to roll my sleeves up, quite literally, so my dangly bits don't get caught on my blending board. Hi, Anne. Look, new room. I'll give you a little tour in a bit. But yeah, it's I've been decorating this room. If you haven't spotted my post on Instagram. But about time. That purple was just too dowdy for me. It was nice while it lasted. Hello, Sandra. It was nice while it lasted. But I just felt like I needed lightning. You know what I mean? A little bit. But it's more of it like winter clouds. I'll give you a quick tour now. But just a quick look, and then I'll thingy with you later. But yeah, so there are my pictures, my prints. And there's my shelves, been reduced down to 4 shelves now. Hiya, Hilly. Yeah, 4 shelves. Don't know how I've managed it, but I've still managed to get them all on there and more stuff. Fathom me. I even ended up with more floor space as well. But look, there's my little YouTube award for getting to 500. That was a while ago. Might get one to get to 1,000. My loom, I've got plenty of room for my loom when it gets unfolded out. And my yarns, which I'm going to do a weaving demo of how to put them on your loom, and I took away the curtain that was hiding mine and Phil's suits and wedding clothes. Hi, little movie studio. So I've put up a bookshelves. That was a catastrophe in the making, I tell you. Cost a fortune. Sometimes it's just not worthwhile ordering online. You might as well just go to your local DIY. And then I've got my little shelves up there as usual. They're all in the same place but just tidy again. And then my dear friend Colette, she used to be a stained glass designer, and this is handmade, and she used to do them for commissions. And then on the other side, the 3D printers over there now, and the shelf box has gone from brown. It's actually an old video cabinet display, just boxes on the top, and then my drum card I've put over there for the time being, just to sort of utilise my space. But I've ended up with more room. I don't know how I've done it. I've still got the same amount of junk and paraphernalia in here, but I do need to have a good mooch through all my fibres, and try and sort out some goodie bags to go on the website, because I've not done anything like that for a while neither. Really need to get some of those done. Hi Joe, Anne here. Don't faint. Hello, Anne. It's been a while, love. Actually, hold on a second. I need to just get Sandra, and I'm going to put as moderator since she's here. Add as moderator. Because Phil's at work today. Phil's at work. So we've got Sandra here. She'll sort them out. She'll give them a good top the bomb if they start their carry on. So this is a lovely community over here. Everybody that's joined us in for this live chat today. We do appreciate it. I'm a wool dyer and fibre artist. I've been in business as a wool dyer and fibre artist, selling all over the world for the last 8 years. So I've learned self-taught like a lot of people here, and I like to just pass on the joy of the things that I've learned for those that are new to it. Okay, so Anne promises not to sweat. It's all right, Anne. We've got you covered. Sandra's here. She's my bouncer. Phil's at work. Anne says, looks really nice. Need to reorganise your space as well. Yeah, because in here it's a multi-purpose zone. I mean, it's just a double bedroom in my house. but it's a multi-purpose zone. I do teaching one-to-one. Once in a blue moon I get asked, or I get a random phone call from a holiday maker in the Lake District, or somebody think I'm a wool shop and then I get them convinced that they need to learn to spin, and they come knocking at my door. Oh, I thought you were bricks and mortar. I'm like, obviously I'm not bricks and mortar, I live in a street, love. Anyway, God loves a trier. So I've got one zone that's 3D printing over there, and then I've got another zone that's actually working. My wool and dyeing is downstairs, obviously, as you know. Then I have my little seat spinning chair and my reading corner nook. But then I've got my desk, which is also my packing station. Hiya, Victoria. My desk is my packing station, but it's also my office. Because I do my admin. I'm a one-woman band. Admin, accounts, tax. Don't pay tax yet, but you love my hair. It's grown a bit. It was a little bit shorter, but it's very Dame Judi Dench. Suits me. Sometimes you just need to completely cleanse your soul, Victoria. Hair off, room done, some new clothes, make you feel happy, and then get on with it. So it's a multi-purpose zone. It's also got a sofa bed in it. It's not for the dog. It's not a dog bed, though she likes to think it is. I don't want to ask what she's eating at the moment because I'm going to kill her. But this is a sofa bed as well. But it's where Phil goes and chills out when I'm trying to work. You know how they do it. They can't just leave you alone, can they? So I'm going to blend up some Rolags. I've not done this for a while. And I should really, over my Patreon, you guys need to tell me if you want me to do Rolags as part of the storyteller theme. We haven't ventured down that rabbit hole, have we, over in Patreon? So I've got this, which is Tussah silk blended with merino. And it's got red airy silk in it as well. And I've got some merino in, that's Corridel. It's not merino, it's Corridel. But off for crying out loud. And then you've got these 3 greens as well. So that's what I'm going to do. If I don't kill myself and stab myself with my scissors. Also, I wanted to just say, Sandra, there's one. Remove. There we go. British teeth. Yeah. No, it's called domestic abuse teeth. Thanks very much, mate. Anyway, so I'm going to get on with these. And I was going to say, this is a little tool that I use on my drum carder and on my blending board. And it's just a hairbrush cleaner. You can get them on, you know, that one online that everyone uses. You can get them on there, usually for a pack of 2, for about 5-6 quid. And it's a hairbrush cleaner. Okay, it's got these little tools. It looks like a miniature rake. Flash, we won't take you, carry on, love. It's a lovely zone here. You have no idea about my background, so please don't be insulting. You're welcome to hang around. Otherwise, Sandra will boot you off and you won't get back. Thank you very much. So yeah, hairbrush cleaner. I use it for cleaning in between the tines on my blending board. Okay, can't find my blinking blending board brush because obviously I've tidied up since I last used it. So I've got my dodgy old carder. Right, so I'm going to lean you down. Try and get you some decent light. I don't know why we've gone wonky. Oh, that's going to drive me bonkers. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this. And I think I've got some Tussah silk as well. Some natural bleached Tussah silk. So this roving here, if you're interested in it, it's off World of Wool and it's part of their blend range. I think it's We Love Weave or something like that. She designed or came up with, curated a couple of rovings, and I quite like some of the ones that she's done and come up with. So this is one of my favourites. So once I open up one, I always end up ordering another one because I just really like them. Audrey Farthing, I'm from North East UK. Thank you for your introduction. Just to looking at spinning and felting for a few years. Oh, definitely want to. You definitely just want to jump in. I do turkey spindles if you're looking at just starting off on the basics, which is how a lot of us all started. We just all started, but most of it started off with spindles. Some of us are really fortunate that could get to guilds and get to test spin some spinning wheels there. but I'm self-taught. I learned from bits of YouTube and then just winging it on my own. But there's quite a few of us. I've been spinning for nearly 9 years now. I do not get to do it half as much as I'd really like to be honest. But now I've sort of rejigged my working week around, I hope to start getting some spinning done so I can get some weaving done, because I spin hand spun wool to weave with. Anne says, to be honest, I never used a spindle before. Haven't you, Anne? Yeah, so some people have been really quite fortunate that they can use it, can get access to a spinning wheel, or have just bit the bullet and gone straight out and bought a spinning wheel. Unfortunately, when I first started, I had just lost my job through being diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So it was a rabbit hole I went down with a drop spindle from World of Wool. And it was just one of the little budget range ones. So, I mean, I was quite happy with that at the time. But it didn't take long until I got my spinning wheel. But it was just one of those things I'd pick up now and again. Where are we going to go next? We're going to go with some tissue silk. You have a spindle coming today, so you're going to have a go. That's really, really good. There's loads of groups online on Facebook, but this is definitely, YouTube's definitely a way to go. And if you go scrolling through my videos from last year, if you subscribe and go over to my videos from last year, you'll see a theme called Back to Basics, and I would say it will be episode 2 or 3 of the Back to Basics range. And the spindles are on there, and I help you get going on it. Just a couple of tips of what I thought were really useful when I started off spinning, but it's all down to finger control and stuff like that, so it's really quite easy once you know what you're doing. You purchased a second-hand spinning wheel and started on that, but want to try a spindle at some point, just to know what it's like. Yeah, I mean, if I'm teaching here at home in my little room, I genuinely get them just to have a little go on my Turkish spindles, or 3D printed ones. And then I send them home with that as well, because they haven't always got a spinning wheel at home. But I get them to start off on the Turkish spindle. It's just to help them realise what I'm trying to explain, in the sense of tensions and what it's doing, so they can feel it in their fingers and things like that, with the energy of the twist in the drop spindle or the Turkish spindle, before I let them get going on the spinning wheel. Because I think that's one of the most important bits of it, is actually the feel and touch of it. I think that's really important, is to be able to feel that energy twisting up the yarn. And yet you can feel that on your spinning wheel. You can feel it on a spinning wheel, but I think it's really quite useful, just even for 10 minutes, having a little play on the on a spindle, just so you can feel what the terminology of the tutor's trying to tell you. Not tell you, advise you. I think that's really, really important. But then it's not just that, it's an ancient craft as well. People were using spindles well long before the spinning wheel was invented anyway. So for me, on that note as well, I think it's quite important, because I think if you're going to take on any type of hobby, the old crafts are the best way to sort of do your research. And like woodworkers, they still refer to a lot of old techniques that were used a long time ago, before the modern tools came in. So learning to do things by hand before you use the machinery, I think, is vitally important. And I feel that's the same as well when you're talking about learning to spin. But that's just my teaching method. Everybody's different. Audrey Farthing, thank you. You're more than welcome. I'm trying to think who else. I shouldn't really go advising other people to go and watch, to be fair. But I can't even think who I learnt on YouTube watching to figure out how to spindle. I genuinely can't remember. I mean, I watch like Ashley Martin, but she does more the art yarn spinning side of spindling, rather than the actual fine point of it, which is all brilliant when you just want to spin up chunky yarn. There is a couple of others, but I'm definitely not I'm not going to give them the time of day on my my live chat. I genuinely can't remember. There was a woman who, she's in South America now. She does a lot of work over there, volunteer and charity work, and I did actually watch her a heck of a lot when I first pondered learning to spin. I can't remember her flaming name. I follow her on Facebook and everything, but it's just not coming. Francoinette or something. Oh, I can't remember. Victoria says she loves watching me work. Yeah, I don't. There's no thought process goes into what I do, Victoria. My hands just take over, love. My hands just take over. I'm a bit annoyed at myself that I can't find my brush, because my little hand card is knackered. It's hard enough. Right, so this will be the last layer that I'm going to put on this one, I think. Though I could probably get away with a little bit more. There we go. Right, now I usually like using, if they're still hanging around somewhere, my chunky knitting needles instead of the little skinny dowels that come with this blending board. I like using these. These are 15mm knitting needles. I prefer to use these when I'm working, doing my blending, rather than these that come with the blending board. I prefer the chunky ones. I feel like I get a nice tension, and with my little hands, the bigger the better to work with for me. Right, so I'm just going to pull this forward towards me a second. Just lift that up and start. Just use my fingers to brace the bottom of the blending board. And at the same time, you're sort of pulling up and pulling down, so the fibres draft through the tines. See there, they're poking through these little needles. These little needles are poking through. And I'm just going to catch the last of those fibres in there. There we go. But I'm going to make sure that's lifted up at the bottom so I can get in easier. And then very gently with my hand, I twist along the needles just to help firm up the outside so it's not so fluffy, but you don't want to strangle it, because if you strangle it, the fibres they're actually, without you realising, inside they're twisting around. So as you're doing this, you're just ever so slightly firming up the rolag into position. So there you go. So you've got this mallard green going into this straw green, and you've got these little hints of yellow, and then you've got the mossy green, and then you've got this, and then it's got the extra silk in it as well. So just take this one off, one end, take the other end off, roll that up, and then you have one cute little coastal rolag. Really, really pretty that. I'll be making these up for the website for next week. I'll be making some more up in some different colours. Where's my needle gone? There it is. So I think there's roughly about 30, maybe 40 grams of fibre on this board. Not a lot. The hardest part is, when you're blending on a blending board, is trying to make sure that your Rolags are roughly about the same weight each. Because I tend to do three Rolags on a blending board at any one time. So sometimes you end up with a really skinny light one, which is maybe only about 8 grams. And then the last one that you end up doing is a big bruiser, and he's about 15 grams. Or you end up overcompensating while you're doing this middle section. There's never any easy moment. And you end up with this one being a giant chunky pot and this one having hardly anything on it. Or all the best bits have gone away. Hiya, Mary love. How are you? I haven't seen you around for a while. I hope you've been okay. So, yeah, so there we go. There's another one. So, on a blending board this size, not my handmade one, not the one that I use more often, and I have used it since I started up my wool business. But this little one, this one I only bought last year as a treat for myself. Actually, I'm telling a lie. It was only just at the beginning of this year that I treated myself to this after Christmas. Because it's just easier for showing off. Where is my little cleaning brush? It's just easier for demos because it's a little bit more compact. But generally, if I'm going to be weighing out fibres so that I can make sure, say if I've got 100 grams collectively of a load of fibres, I will weigh them all out to roughly about 30 grams each, or just over 30 grams for each blending board session. So 3 lots of blending board work, and then I can get 3 of them, or do 250 grams if you can fit it on. But I say this board, I struggle to get much more than 40 odd grams onto this board. My big board, my handmade one on the IKEA chopping board, that one I can get about 45 to 50. But you have to also remember that it's the same concept as well when you're using a drum carder. If you've got very coarse wool, you're not going to get a lot on there, because the staple fibres on your wool, depending on the micron count or how heavy it is or coarse it is, then you're going to find that you won't be able to get half as much on it. But if it's a fine fibre, like a rambouillet, which is 24 to 25 micron count, then you will find that you get a bit more wool on your board weight wise in comparison to, say, a Shetland. There we go. So that are just those little blends that I did then. So I'm going to make some more of these ones up. So I've got this wool to one side. Give me 3 colours that are going to all complement each other. So now vote for your, do you want neutrals? Do you want coastal feel? I'll do these ones later on, but I'm going to do some for you guys. So give us some colours. Give us some colours. We've got these ones here. We've just done the green batch, and it's got little hints of yellow in there, and it's got the twist of silk in it. So come on, colours, colour options. What do you fancy me doing on the board? And I shall whiz off and go and get it. Actually, I'll go and turn around. Pinks. Sandra says pinks. Sandra's a big girly girl. Sandra's a big girly girl. So Sandra says pink. What else have we got? Mary says, oh, crikey. Mary says coastal theme. Who else? Sandra said, Mary says pretty. Thank you. What colour? We've got pinks. I've got pinks. Blues, orange and yellows, Victoria says. Pink, brown and yellows. Oh, that sounds like a flower. That sounds like cherry blossom tree. I have to be careful with my browns at the moment because they're going, I've just been dyeing up for today. But will that pass? Maybe not. Hold on a minute. I have got greys, creams. The minute she goes into this cupboard, she might not come out. What we've got in here. Right, so I have got a little bit of brown. So what I'll do is I shall get my scales. I'm going to go with a cherry blossom tree. So, hint of warm pink and warm brown in that. 11. And a bit of pink. Put that in there. And a bit more softer pink. in there. So it's 1, 2, 3, and I think we'll calm it down with a little bit of cream. Some natural cream. This is bamboo fibre that's in there. A bit more. There we go. And then we'll go for this mix blend down here in my magic stash. This one. It's got a little dash of Twisted Silk, Tencel, Tweedy Viscose, a little bit of Stellina, a bit more of this cream, I think. I'll go with that one. There we go. And I think we will go with some gold Angelina. I have got some here, and we'll put that on the blending board. Right, stick them there. There we go. Lovely colours. So we've got browns and pinks, natural cream. I'm going to add in some flecks of gold in there. There is going to be brown. Oh, so we've got natural cream, and this is a blend merino, and we've got this one here. That'll blend up nicely. It's one of my favourite blends, that one is. So we've got lots of this. So I think what I'll do is I'll make it look like a frosty colour. So not too. I'm going to put these wools to one side. Just take a pinch off of that, and then a pinch off of that, and then I've got 3. And I like to do my batches in 3s in my wools. 2, that one there, that one there. So this is how I do it. I always do my batches and my blends in 3, so I end up with 9 Rolags once I've blended it all up together. So I always split my little piles off into 3s once I've weighed it off my blend on my scales. Now this is a bit of a ruddy, like a chestnut brown. So it's not brown, but it does look well with the pinks, because it has got that red undertone in there somewhere. So there we go. So I shall grab these ones, put them back in my pot, and we'll make these 3 up. I haven't done this for ages, have I? A proper demo on my live chats. Right, let's tilt you down. Right, and we've got gold Angelina. So what I'm thinking is, hold on a minute, where's my natural gone? It's here, isn't it? There's 3 of them in there. So what I'm thinking is if I do a base layer of this blend, and I just guide it down my blending board. Whoop. I'm going to create like that. Well, cherry blossom always comes out round about March time, February, March, depending where you are in the world. But in the UK, we get it the back end of February into March. But sometimes there's a chance of still getting a little bit of frost in the air. So that's what I'm going to try and create, more especially because we've got this ruddy brown in there as well. So I'm going to get one of those goes back in that box there. I'm going to get some of this, and I'm going to put that on first. There we go. I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to split this into 2 sections. Got to do 2 layering of these colours, and then just do a gradient effect, a colour change all the way along. And when I'm putting it on my blender board, I'm dragging it down the tines, and I'm just using my hand to stop it from flying away. And I go back to here. And I don't want anything really sticking over the top of the board, because it will just mat all up later on when you go to blend it off. And now at this moment, I will just get my carder and just pack that down. There we go. Then I'm going to take a section of my pink and I'm going to overlap it over the brown so that you've got like a really nice flow of colour transition from one to the next. And back to the beginning again. Some people like to build up their fibre from the bottom. I'm not a fan of that. I don't see what benefit that does. But I prefer to layer down. It's how I was taught from the people I've watched over the years. It's not a method that I would advise to do because it's not something I would do. So I generally just blend from top to bottom like a majority of fibre artists do. Some do it from the bottom to top. I just don't fathom it. I think that if you build your colours up properly, then you can create any type of effect from just doing it this way. Grace Shalom Hopkins is somebody that I learned to do blending with online, and Gypsy, is it City Gypsy? I think it is. Though she's more of a weaver than she is a blender, but she does do blending on her work. So again, get my natural and come all the way down. So far I've done 3 layers, and now I'm going on to 4, and in the end I'll end up with about six layers of colours that I've put on to my blending board. In the exact same sort of method, I say exact same sort of, but a similar method to using my drum carder. And just build up all the colours so that you've got an equal distribution of all the fibres that you want to include, so that when you go to spin with it, you'll get an even consistency of blend throughout your work, i.e. your yarn. And the same with felting. If you're wet felting, you want an even consistency of fibre really, especially for your base. I'm just going to do that in the middle. See, because I've only got a little piece, so I generally go one side in the middle and then on the other side, because it's only a little piece. And then I will go in between those two, in between those two, and then repeat that just so I can make sure I end up with an even amount of mixed blend fibre throughout this. And I'm going to add in my Angelina now. Bet you all thought I forgot. I hadn't. I hadn't. I don't put my Angelina on the top, on the i.e. the first layer, because it gets all staticky, it goes everywhere. I find it in my eyes, stuck in my hair, in my glasses. Occasionally found it in a plate of chips. Phil always goes to work with it. in all of his work clothes. Right. Okay, so we're going to do the repeat again. So I'm going to go in last layer with my ruddy brown, my chestnut brown along here. And mind, I'm wanting that wintry, early spring Jack Frost sort of feel with these colours without the browns being overwhelming at first sight. I mean, don't get me wrong, they will come out when you're spinning it. You will see them pop through the white, but it shouldn't be overbearing. It's just going to be a little hints of it when you're spinning, and these should give you a grading effect Rolags. Right, one more bit. There we go. And I'm just going to brush down this one. And light pink. Okay, so back with the dowels again, and we're going to just lift that up, place the other one on top, and then flip those over so it starts to trap the fibres. I'm going to gently lift it off the blending board and start to pull down, and then give it a bit of a twist, and again drag down, and you can feel it pulling against the tines on the bottom of the board. Iona. There we go, see the tines are starting to come through. Can you just make them out? Now I'm going to stop with that one there. Make sure it's lifted off the board. And then again with my hands I'm going to gently go down and just firm, which helps to keep a shine, and it buffs up a little bit with your hand as well. And you can just make out odd little bits of gold glitter in there as well, all the way along. Take this one out. Plonk it on the top of the board for now so it's out my way. Get on with the next one. So I just brush that off a bit. Get my other needle. Or you can use drumsticks if you've got them at home. Drumsticks work just as well. So again, so you're drafting the fibres across the blending board when you're pulling it down. That's why you should really, if you can, lift up a little bit and then pull along the tines. It'll help smooth out the fibres as you roll them up. Right, that'll do for that one. Oh. And again, we pull out the top one here, pull out that one there, and then I've got my last piece to do. Over it goes. Use my stomach for a bit of resistance against the fibre pulling, and the top ones will start popping off, hopefully. And then start rolling it along the blending board so it comes out straight and you don't end up with any lumpy pieces. There we go. And there we have 3 cherry blossom Rolags, which this will be a set of 9 as well. So I'll just take that off there, roll that up, so there's 1. Light's a bit bright, isn't it? 2. And 3. I'll loosen that off a little bit. There we go. Cherry Blossom Rolags. And sets. I'm going to try these colours myself to do some test blending. Yeah, definitely. The colours I used was Orchid Pink. I definitely know that one because it's one of my favourite pinks. Chestnut Brown, which is more like a reddy coloured brown. But if you've got a natural wool at home, any from coloured sheep fleeces, you could get away with a Shetland Moor. It's that type of brown that I've been using. And then there's a merino blended with bamboo, and then there was a sari silk, so you're going to get little tiny textures inside that as well. What time we want? We've got time for one more, so let me just scroll back. Did somebody say coastal colours? I mean, I've just done the green one, but I could do something, and I could put aside these, put them there, 1, 2, 3, and I'll do a coastal colour one with some texturing, or do you just want more silky ones? Let me know. I'm going to go and just hunt out the colours that I'm thinking. Actually, I'm going to go with a natural one. This will give a really lovely stormy colour. So this is, if I remember rightly, it is some coarse wool. It is some really soft Icelandic. Is it Icelandic? No, it's not. It is some, I think it is, oh, do you know, I can't even remember what it is. It's some sort of coloured natural wool. Feels soft. It's probably actually more a Shetland. It's probably a grey Shetland that I've got here. So I'm just going to split that. And I want to do 100 grams again. So put that in there. So there's 32 grams in there. I'm going to add in some of this. So it's duck egg blue, a little bit of coastal colour. I'm going to add in some of that, and a hint of that and a hint of that. There we go. This one here and this one here. So we've got blue, 88. What did you say? Looking for, shall I do a bit of silky stuff? I've got any more silky stuff. What we got? Oh, we'll go with this one. We'll go with a bit of this. Is that 100 grams now? There we go. 101. So what I have ended up going with, okay, so I've got time to do another one if I don't fart about. You know what Joe's like, she doesn't have waffle. So get rid of that, Angelina, we don't want that. So we have got this, which is a fine merino with blue to silk in it. So we'll use that one. Then I've got a dark 23 micron count merino, dark blue. We'll go with that one. Then we've got some vivid turquoise blue or Caribbean blue. Go with that one. I've got some hand-dyed trilobal. 1, 2, 3. That one. And then we've got a little dash of duck egg blue or green. And then we have got this Shetland, grey Shetland wool. Split that a bit more. There we go. Let's move that out of the way. So we're going to do like a surfy sort of colourway is where my brain's going with this. So I'm going to do, again, I'm going to do this one on top, this first colourway. So for me, it's giving me that storm sky grey colour before you even start putting any other colours on there. I'll just quickly do this. Do you know, Joe, they can't see you if they're looking at your blinking leather waistcoat. Right, there we go. Iona's chasing flies. Iona, leave the flies alone. They're all dying. You don't need to pester them. So quickly rush through this one. Not rush so you don't see what I'm doing. Right, so I'm going to grab my box of tricks, and I have got some teal mulberry silk, and I'm going to go with a little bit of lime green as well. I'm not going to use lots of it, but I'm going to add another dimension of texture to it. And then I have got some turquoise twisted silk. This is all hand dyed. Can you see hand dyed wheels in there? You can't see, Victoria, I've moved it now, love. I know, I'm a bit of a pillock some days. I do worry about myself. I want to move. I do worry about myself some days. There you go. So I'm going to add in some texture before I card it down. Just ever so slight. I'm going to do the green in the middle. I'm not going to go with loads of it. And then is it teal one, turquoisey colour here. I mean, it's Shetland wool, it should be tweedy, shouldn't it really? Right, so we're going to go with a split in two again, like we did last time. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to pack that down in here. Get my vivid blue. And again, just over a little bit of the blue, darker blue, so there's a bit of a transition in there. And then this sea blue, sea spray colour at the very last bit. Again, I'm going to split this. No, I'm not going to split this at all. I'm going to put this all on in one go on this layer. And this is the fine merino and twisted silk blend. Pack that down again. This time I'm going to put my twisted silk on before I do. Thanks, Joe. Got to go. Lovely blending board. Reminder, take care, everybody. Thank you very much, and you take care, sweetie. You have a good day. All right, there we go. So I'm going to do the turquoise on one side, grab my green mulberry silk oil and do that again on this side, and then this lighter turquoise on there, whack that down, and then take some of my trilobal now while it's in the middle, so it stays in the middle of the blend, because you don't want lots of it. Well, you can if you want to, but I feel that sometimes less is more. So if you just put in a decent quality in the middle of your blending board, that way you won't end up overfaced with too much of it when you go to work with it later. There we go. And back with the grey Shetland. Nearly done. Pack that down one last time. last of my colourway. So dark blue on again first. I can feel that my board's getting really quite packed now, so I just want to card that down a little bit more so I can get the lasses fibre on, because I've weighed it out, so I want to make sure it all goes on. A lighter blue next. There we go, and this sea blue. There we go, so that is done. Quite happy with that. We're going to get these 3 Rolags blended off. So again, one underneath, one on top. If our fingers will work, twist them around to trap them. And then start to draft down so it tightens the tension in between the 2 needles. Now this is going to be quite a rustic looking blend. There we go, so 1, take that off, just put that to one side, take the second one off. Now I tend to like tuck in my outer edges so that they'll fold in on each other when I start to blend. Because it does tend to have a mind of its own, to be fair. Right, let's get this. There's another one. So again, a Rolag that's been blended but with a coloured coloured natural wool, just to give it a different dimension, to show you what is possible if you were to do this at home. If you use a natural cream coloured roving that's not been dyed at home, i.e. a Merino, Shetland, Wensleydale or whatever it is that you like to use, then it's going to give you sort of a more pastel-y, wintry look. Whereas with greys or browns, when you're blending with them, they'll give you more rustic, warmer sort of tones. But it's a nice way to use up your coloured natural rovings if you ever get them. If you order your Botany Bay bags, that sort of thing, then it's a really good way to use them up. So there we go. So we have got 3 of this Storm blend, and I've used the Tussar Silk, or the Mulberry Silk Oil, as a way to just enhance the wave sort of colourway. The crashing waves and the foam and everything else just gives that really rustic look to your Rolag. And it'll give it a really lovely, unique spin as well when you go to work with it later on. There we go. See, it gives that, because I've used that natural grey Shetland, it's giving it like a silver sort of effect. And what makes me laugh is that no matter which way you blend your roving, your Rolags, do the exact same way for every single one of them. Look how slightly different they all look as they come off the boat. Some catch different parts of the fibre as you're drafting it all out. Some of them want to grab a hold of you before you even drafted anything. So you end up with like more bits of pieces of one and less on another. So yeah, no, they're really quite smart them. So that's 3 we've got today. So those ones, we did the green ones first, which I'll get done this afternoon. And then we did the lovely little cherry blossom ones. I've got to admit, pink and brown is definitely one of my favourite colourways that go together. So there you go. Can you see those colours? Let's turn it round a bit. There you go. Smorgasbord of colours. So there we go. So yeah, that's not bad. I've managed in 56 minutes to do 9 Rolags in 3 different colours. Not bad going for me. So thank you very much for bearing with us over the last couple of weeks. We should start getting back into a bit of a routine. Next weekend will be the archive video from a very early Patreon videos. You've got one more of the storyteller bat that will pop onto YouTube next week, and then I'll sort some sort of video out the week for a fortnight after that, and I'll be back hopefully to do the next Wednesday live chat in a fortnight's time. Just divvying up my weeks at the moment, changed out how I work and everything else. So yeah, that's it. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. I really, really do appreciate it when you do. It helps my channel to grow. Come over and subscribe as well. I do randomly do giveaways on YouTube, not very often, but I do them now and again. So keep an eye out for that. There could be one next month. I did have one over on my Instagram last month, and it was a full spinning kit with a knitting pattern that I gave away last month. So anyway, so just keep an eye out. I shall see you in a fortnight's time to have a natter with. I'll catch you the rest of you over on Instagram on Saturday. Hopefully I don't get distracted with something else. Take care for now. Bye.